This is Chapter 10, Setting. In its basic sense, the term setting refers to the time and place in which a story unfolds. The conceptual meaning of time and place can be various in a work of fiction. Time, of course, can refer to the particular time of day and time of the year. It can also refer to the era in which a story occurs. In Lopez's story in the mid 19th century, setting also includes weather. For example, the season dictates what characters will wear, what they will eat, see, smell, touch, and hear, what challenges of comfort or survival they will face. All these elements make up the physical environment of a story, and each decision the author makes in regard shapes the story. In this chapter, I chose to read the cast of Amontillado by the Edgar Allan Poe. Growing out of the physical environment of a story is something more various called the social environment. Elements such as the era and location combined with a character's living and working conditions make up the social environment. A setting, however, can play a bigger role than simply serving as a backdrop and mood. A character's location often shapes his or her identity. A character who lives on a 55-acre farm, for instance, will develop quite differently from a character who takes a crowded subway to work. The setting can also explicitly reflect the inner lives of characters as well as to foreshadow future events, as in this passage from Edgar Allan Poe, the cast of Amontillado. At the most remote end of the crypt there appeared another less spacious. Its walls had been laid with human remains piled to the vault overhead in the fashion of the great catacombs of Paris. Three sides of this interior crypt were still oriented in this manner. From the fourth the bones had been thrown down and laid promiscuously upon the earth, forming at one point a mound of some size. Within the walls, thus exposed by the displacement of the bones, we perceived a still interior recess, in depth about 4 feet, in width 3, in height 6 or 7. It seemed to have been constructed for no especial use in itself, but formed merely the interval between two of the colossal supports of the roof of the catacombs, and was backed by one of their circumscribing walls of solid granite. In this passage, Poe describes the exhumed grave that will be Fortunato's, and oblique crept within a network of catacombs far below the Montmartre estate. As the story moves deeper in the deadly space, the catastrophic setting adds to suspense the narrative. So basically, in this story, Edgar Allan Poe didn't like Fortunato, so he decided to get him drunk, but it ended up wearing off. So he took him to the place, and it ended up being his grave, and he not buried him, but he closed him in the wall while he was alive. What is foreshadowed by the human remains, those bones that lay permissibly upon the earth. At the same time, the narrative brings Fortunato to this hidden place. He leads him closer to the goal that he has cherished, his desire for revenge. The still interior recess is not only the setting for the climax of the story, it represents the central fact that drives the story, the narrative's intention in its fulfillment.